So this is the base. It started out pretty simple. I built next to a Arctic village because I thought it looked really cool. I just took a little bit of walking around to find it. But it started out pretty simple. I'm lagging. Initially, right here, I had a furnace system, but it broke every time you put more than one type of item in it, so that had to go. And then, stuff is come and gone. This is the original kind of storage I had. This is all down slabs. It was supposed to be spawn proof, but obviously I have things that can spawn. There was another furnace system here, which was an improved version of the original. It didn't break when you put multiple types of items in it, but I wanted to build a bigger one. This is a mob grinder. Mobs will spawn up here, they fall down, and they die, and then the hoppers collect their items. This is an item sorter. It's an item sorter for my item sorter. And what happens is the items go into it, and it sends them through here, but the way hoppers work is they always prioritize down before over. So, which means, for all of these, any item that goes in here, if there's a rotten flesh that goes in here, it'll go through here before it goes over. So this is just the way it works is a redstone torch down there locks the hopper. This hopper has 45 items in it. It will, or sorry, 46 items in it. It will send out a strong enough signal to unlock that torch. And as soon as the leftmost item passes through, it always prioritizes left first. It will go back down to 45 items and lock the hopper again, which is how this item sort of works. And that's for all of these. Just standard mob items. And then if there's any weird items like armor, we'll go into there. I just cleared that out so there's nothing in it. That's the kind of it. So it passes through here, and then if it goes into this lower hopper, it'll get sent into a different system. But anything that goes through the whole thing will just end up in this chest. Here we see. You can hear a dispenser just on a 2 hopper clock. It's just constantly throwing items out into here. This is a soul sand elevator. Items get sent up into a water stream over here. So we'll get to the bulk of the base eventually. But this is something I did quite a while ago, and I never really went anywhere with it. But I have a lot of villagers. I mostly use them for XP. I'll just trade with them, especially the cleric that I can just dump rotten flesh into. So that's super handy because what else do you have is rotten flesh. And then the way I got so many villagers is I have a breeder over here. This is your board. They have beds they have access to. When they wake up, this is the only place they can end up. It chucks carrots at them when I turn it on. This is an item that goes back and forth. I compare it against a signal. And it sends it out to the dispenser, turning it, activating it and deactivating it. Eventually, after it chucks enough carrots at them, they'll get it on. They'll have a little baby. There's a fence post beneath them. And the baby will be able to drop through the fence post, and the water will just flow him into the town hall over here. The other thing I have that has really funded everything I've built is the iron farm. I play with my kids on here, my teams, and we're kind of in a common going, so they really just trade me stuff for all the iron I have because I have more than I could possibly want. This farm is pretty simple. Iron farms get more complicated every patch because Mojang keeps trying to get rid of them, but people keep getting around them. A zombie here. Villagers have to be scared by a zombie and have slept, within the past 10 minutes in order to spawn an iron golem. So what happens is at night, there's kind of a redstone system that's hard to see. You can see down there, it uses 2 different daylight sensors. And the reason I have glass panels around here is the way the game spawns entities, the way it spawns mobs, is it checks above, but it doesn't check next to. And so iron golems are 2 units big, which means if they spawn on the edge here, they can get stuck in the wall. And so even if they spawn on the edges here when they have glass, They won't get stuck. You see over here, you know, they won't, you have to have a big enough flick. So, you know, they just keep going. So it's not over there, there's water. And then the last farm we'll get to at the end. It's quite nice. Oh, I will show you my other highway. I don't know why so many Endermen are over here. Yeah, that's one of the issues, is sometimes if they have armor, they die. But eventually they'll despawn. It does make it a little bit more inefficient because of the mob cap. More won't spawn. And I've gone through within 160 blocks, and I've lit up pretty much every cave around here. So, no other mobs are spawning underground or anything. That's another advantage of building on water, is you just have less caves for your mobs to spawn. So this is another highway I put together. Eventually I use blue lights, but this is just a portal on top of bedrock. So I don't have to worry about any mobs over here. Mobs can't spawn on bedrock, so it's pretty much just empty up here. These are down slabs, which means mobs can't spawn in them either. And this one leads to a monument, and this one leads to a warm ocean, so I can get coral. It's just, you know, for the sake of moving around, I'm trying to do it. So, they're annoying. I don't have issues with food. I have plenty of steak, of carrots right now. So the next part is the item sorter. This is kind of the bread and butter of the whole base. Here is, it's just it's the same kind of item sorter as I had at the mob farm, but it's much larger. And the reason I have the item sorter down there too is so items that the item sorter can't catch, doesn't have chests for, won't get sent into it. Otherwise, if I have like an enchanted piece of armor going through here, it will just, you know, flow through the hoppers perpetually. And then it will just end up lagging the server from having hoppers that are always active. So the way this works is, you know, I have, oh, you can see how effective the iron farm is. There are 2 more chests here, and I don't imagine it will overflow anytime soon. But, you know, the mob farm also produces quite a bit. The system's backed up right now for the mob farm, and I'll show you why in a minute. But all the, you know, cauldrons are purely for aesthetics, same with the chain. Eventually I'd like to replace this diorite with basalt because it just would look better. I'm trying to have a really industrial feel. Eventually I'll make it look nice, but for now it's just hideous. This is basalt over there. So yeah, that's just the whole setup. I'll have to leave the redstone torch and the comparator here. I won't be able to replace those, otherwise it'll break the hopper here with items in it. Also, it took so much time to get all this cobblestone with named blocks, 44 of them for each item. That took a while, a lot of experience. Oh, the furnace. This is the final product of the large furnace. This is the biggest you can possibly make it. 23 furnaces on each side. Any bigger, and it'll break. Any smaller, and it becomes fuel inefficient. So what happens is, I have cobblestone in my inventory, right? Yeah. So what happens is I put, so that's for fuel down there, and this is for the item going into it. So I'll put some cobblestone in here. It's not like I have a small supply of it. And what will happen is, let me just try to get up here without breaking it. Okay. So it uses this redstone array on top to lock all the hoppers that drop in the items until it's evenly distributed to the whole thing, and that's how it doesn't break if multiple items are in there. The even distribution fixes it. So once they're all done, and it's, you know, it's doing 46 items at a time, so it's very quick. And then once it finishes, it will drop everything into the chest. The chest will send it into the item sorter, and the item sorter will eventually bring it to the stone one, which I believe is on the edge here, second to last, and then it just fills up this one. That's for anything I put in here. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as I have a place for it. I have no idea what goes in here. Sponges, apparently. So other than that, I have my the big boy over here. This is a cobblestone farm. I just finished this, and I wanted to show you. Oh, nope. You know what? It's really important to show off how the minecarts are pretty important. So my vision for this whole thing would be a centralized storage location for everything. And if I actually sleeping this early breaks the iron farm until the next day because the villagers won't have fallen asleep yet. These towers are kind of the love of my life. You can imagine the amount of iron this place took to build. There's all these hoppers, all these cauldrons. Just to show off, like each of these towers, the outer edge of them all took 700 iron ingots in total. That's each of them. So just in this line, that's 2,100 iron ingots for these 3 turrets, plus all the middle ones. That all comes from the iron farm. It produces 500 an hour. So just while anybody's online, it's producing iron. And I really haven't had an issue. You can see the items going through there. So the way this minecart system works is the items go into here. They'll flow through after the soul sand elevator pushes them up. And if there are any items in this hopper, which there are currently 3, so when that comes back down, it'll stop until it runs out. The way that works is the hopper, when it has an item in it, sends out a signal to the comparator, which powers this block, which will turn off this torch, and there won't be any power to get way up there. But there is, otherwise, there are 2 systems. Eventually the cobblestone generator will be hooked up to the other track. But they come to the end. They meet here, and the items from here get sent around to here, and then they unite eventually at that point. And then the 2 of them together will eventually go to this minecart, which goes to the central tower and then gets sent back. I don't know why it's so slow at the beginning, but it is. Yeah, so that's eventually the slime tower will be hooked up to the fire over there. We'll get hooked to the fire tower over there. And they all the items get dropped into the sorter here. So that's how that works. But one of the issues is if there are too many items coming, it will break it, because if their chest gets full and the hopper can't drop any more items into it, it won't go, and you have to use a lever to manually send it. And while this doesn't produce too many items, it was backed up initially when it was the first thing I built. I built it long before the items, so it had a pretty big backlog when I started sending items through. This is a cobblestone farm. The chests, they're going to have to be quite a few more hoppers, because this thing, when it's going, produces 160,000 cobblestone an hour. This is the collection for it that just drops in here, which will go to the hopper. But the scaffolding needs to be up here. I'm a little nervous about this, because just when I shut it off, no, it should be fine actually. So the way this works is it's pretty simple. There are no comparators or anything. The signal just comes out of this clock, and it sends it here, and the signal's delayed, so it doesn't produce too quickly, because if it comes together all the way, and the TNT just lands on top of it, it'll blow up the system, just blow everything up. And I did that twice, and I don't want to do that anymore. This is, water down here, and it just keeps producing, and producing. This is not supposed to happen. Whatever, I'll fix that later. So it will just, the pistons will push them all at once, and they'll come out. And then after the pistons pull back out, they'll, more stone will be spawned. This is a standard, TNT duplicator. It just with the one, you have an infinite amount of TNT from the dead coral fan. It's just a Mojang keeps trying to patch, get rid of TNT duplicators, and people keep coming up with new ways to do them. So I'll just show you how it works. This gets gets activated, it gets pushed. Goes up. It's pushing out. That over and over again. And you can see the sheer amount of cobblestone that come out. Hoppers can only send out 25 items a second, and the far more than 2 items a second. So because of that, there's going to have to be a water system that goes over multiple hoppers. Now, obviously, those 3 chests up there on the cobblestone cannot handle 160 cobblestone an hour. So what's going to have to happen is, and you can see how backed up the hopper is. It just can't handle it. And just from messing around with it, it's already almost full chest. There's more in it from blowing it up. But I'll have to have a really robust system down here. And for when I send anything to the base of it, you can just add it here. So when I send anything over, I'll just have to do it manually. Give a lever, back it up. And then, you know what, when I run over there, I'll just use the lever to send it over. So, I mean, you can see how the system works. One of the really cool features of this is items that are moving, or blocks that are moving, have a blast resistance of 0. So if the TNT is timed to blow up at the exact same time the hopper is pushing the layer in, the TNT will blow up more. Otherwise, it would actually be about 2.5 times, depending on the odds of the population. So it blows up more because the hopper or the pistons are pushing the stone out in the instance that the TNT blows up. So I had to turn it off because if you disconnect while it's running, it can blow itself up. The TNT duplicator can get confused when it reloads everything. So that's the base. This has been the labor of my love. Yeah, eventually I'll make it look pretty, but I'm more concerned with making farms right now.